So, of course, like I really wanted to know about, if you can, the final seconds we have left, the project with you and Eno. For those that don't know,
the Bush of Ghosts record.
Yeah, and you know, between you guys and Yes, being one of the first pioneers of sampling and, you know, way before hip hop even thought about it. Like, what?
This is the project David did with Brian Eno, My Life in the Bush of Ghosts.
Yeah.
1980, 81? 1981.
And I find it incredible that between you working on this project in '81 and the Tom Tom Club working on their first record, how, I mean, this is like the foreshadow of hip hop, but without directly being hip hop. Mm-hmm. So in your mind, like, I mean, what even gave you the idea to start working with samplers and or you didn't do, you were human sequencing? And
yeah, there was no samplers yet, so we just played the same things over and over again, as if we were like the same riff.
Well, you would loop tapes and all this?
Yeah, we would loop tapes, but if you couldn't do that, you would maybe. Sometimes there was a drummer, and then sometimes there was but the parts were just played as if they were samples, like over and over again, the same part, and you could create a kind of build in the songs in different sections by having in the studio different groups of these kind of looped parts that you played come on and then go away, and then kind of you could have them, and then we realized, oh, we can create songs this way.
But the process was so hard. I mean, first of all, I mean,
so you mean tedious and time consuming?
It would have been more, yeah, it was time consuming to do this, but in your head, were you ever saying like, man, I wish there was a device that would just let us play it once? Like, were you thinking, did you know that, oh, somewhere in the future, like in 6 years from now, this will actually cut our work in half, and you can.
There were some.
Like you just looping for the hell of it, because that was a long process.
No, it would just seem like this is the way you could kind of write in the studio, and by layering up all these tracks. And we knew that with Talking Heads, we had done songs where we would kind of jam and come up with some riffs, and we would, you know, play this riff. Everybody play these parts for 2 minutes, and then we're going to go to the B section.
Okay.
And everybody's going to switch to another part and play that for another minute. And then later on, we'll figure out.
Splice tapes and.
Yeah, we'll splice tapes, and we'll figure out, okay, no. Instead of playing it for a minute, how about 16 bars? And and we might be able to make a song structure. We realized, oh, we can do that by layering stuff up in the studio. We can get the same effect.
Wow.
Yeah, really, very tedious. And then Eno had already started doing some stuff using kind of found vocals. And we both decided, let's continue that process and base the record around that and the kind of music that we'd made. And for us, it was a very handy thing because it meant that both of us being kind of singers, songwriters, whatever, all of a sudden it took us out of the equation. We were not going to be the voice on the song.
Right.
And so you couldn't put on a particular song and go, oh, he's singing it, it must be his song.
Right.
No, it was clear that everything was created. You had no idea who did what.
Was this an easy project to sell to critics? Like, how do you explain this? Like, once it's done and you're playing it, for someone that's absolutely not married to the, you know, isn't associated with it, like, how do you explain, like, you're listening to an historical moment, like, this is a great first in music history. Like, how do you do it without the humble brag thing? Like, how do you...
Yeah,
How do you tell critics, like, you don't get it, like, this has never been done before in the history of music? Like, how do you present it? Or do you just trust your publicist to...
Yeah, I'm not sure what... I think we just had to kind of cross our fingers and that out. And we knew that we couldn't tour it. There was no way we could perform it.
Right. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, you're making a record that would have been easily made if you just played it all, but you wanted to go through this long exercise of this thing, and then once you have it completed, I would figure, like, you would be obsessive to actually have to explain to everyone how this was made and how, like, as they're listening to it for the first time. And, like, how easy was it to convey to people what they were listening to?
I'll tell you what, you guys can go home.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna stay here.
Yeah, we'll go backstage.
We can go ahead.
There was no way to explain it. No, there was no way to explain it.
We were too amazed to need an explanation.
All right. Do you feel like that's hip hop? Do you feel like that belongs in the?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Do you, David? Does it feel like hip hop to you, looking back on it now?
I realized that we were using some of the same kind of techniques that became
That is a yes.
used later on. But that was, you know, we had no idea.
Right. So with these two giants of hip hop, I just want to plug slightly. Okay.